Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment. Episode 285 is Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh. And we had the great time this week and were able to go to the EHC Connect Summit that was put on by Abby Halliday, Williams True, and also
Dave Perry Miller. The three of our companies are partners, and so many times when we have corporate type events, they call it this EHC. That really doesn't make sense to anybody except us, but it stands for Abby Halliday Companies.
There it is.
So really great event. We had several people that we got to hear from. One of the people that we got to hear from first is a woman that Weston and I really enjoy listening to, named Jessica Lautz, and she is Deputy Chief Economist and Vice President of Research at the National Association of Realtors. Her ability to deliver information is unique. She's got that down.
She makes me laugh. She's got the quick wit. She's smart. She's got her information, and she delivers. We also got to listen to for the first time Rajiv Saye. He was really interesting. He was talking a lot about the AI. He actually has a podcast, and so we've started listening to that. It's a very interesting way to talk about how we see AI going to move forward and actually influence the way that we actually do business here at real estate. So we'll keep you updated on what we find out from that.
We also got to hear an update from Jessica Edgerton, who is the Chief Legal Officer and Executive Vice President of Industry and Learning at Home Services of America. And it was kind of a post-settlement update of how things need to be handled now. And I'm really glad she did it, because I think there are a lot of agents out there that were struggling a bit to really know how to handle things now, because I want to say it's not a big change, but it is a big change. I think it's causing a lot of people to have to rethink how they're approaching the real estate business.
They're reworking their elevator pitch.
They're having to, yeah. And I think a lot of people have struggled with that. And we worked really hard on it in the beginning, and I feel like we kind of got it down. But some of the things that she was saying, I was like, I'm so glad you're saying that, because I hear other agents say that, and I know that's not right. And
she was good. She's a Spitfire too. She's a Spitfire in Louis Vuitton shoes is what she was. So I was like, good for her. We also, the last presenter on it was a keynote speaker, and it was Sylvia Di Giusto. She was amazing. She was
another firecracker.
She was a firecracker. She had an accent. She has a German husband, an Austrian.
French.
She's French. She has Austrian. She has
Spanish.
Some French, German, Austrian. Anyway, her accent was everywhere. She was really good. She had a lot of very, very interesting points. I always say, you have 30 seconds to make the right impression on someone. She was like, it's 7. And I was like, woo!
And she has the data to back up what she's presenting.
Yep. And she was an immaculate presenter. Yeah. She and her slides were on.
So what we're going to do, we're not going to bore you with all of those people, but we are going to talk about what Jessica Lautz talked about, which was really just giving an update on really kind of what's going on in the real estate business now.
So one of the things that she's talking about, one of the things everyone's going to talk about, is mortgage rates and what they're doing. Coming down, where is that going to land? How's that going to impact? The really interesting thing is that, so she's going to talk about, in this next bit, we're going to talk about a $400,000 home with 10% down, that the typical payment is $225,000, and that with interest rates are now down 1.59% from October of 2023, that is actually a savings on that mortgage, that $400,000 mortgage. It's a savings of $341 a month at today's current mortgage rate. And that actually boils down to almost $4,100 a year, and that is a huge savings. And so if you're in a situation, as we talked about in the first half, with a higher rate, it is definitely time to refinance.
And if you watch our market watch, you'll see that rates have been coming down. They've come down about 0.5 point over the course of the last 3 to 4 weeks. And a lot of that is because the Fed is expected to do their rate cut today, and that will doesn't directly affect mortgage rates, but it does have an influence on them. And we feel like a lot of the mortgage companies have kind of built in that rate adjustment already. So if you see the Fed do a half point rate reduction, don't expect to instantly see another half point come down. Although there is a lot of thought that there are going to be at least 2 more rate cuts between the end of the year and now and the end of the year.
One of the things too that she pointed out about the mortgage when she was talking about this is that really only 47% of the current applications are refinancing and are not new home buyers, which is a really high number. We'd love to see a lot more new home buyers, but again, it is constrained both because of inventory and of costs. Now, we're going about to rapid fire some information on you, so buckle up.
So these are bullet points that we took away that were really great. 1 in 10 new homes is now built for rent. And there are entire subdivisions where the developer, we have one right here in my neighborhood, where the developer has built single family attached housing and they are all for rent, none of them for sale.
And I don't think that's a norm. That has not been I've never heard of anything in the last 5 years. So this is just a new phenomenon that's happening. Also, 27% of the market is paying cash. That is mind-boggling, but yes, we see that here in Dallas quite often.
DFW has the strongest job growth. We have gone up 9.9% just in the last year.
And hold on to your hats if you think that there is going to be a bubble. There will be no bubble because there is only 1% of homes that are in distressed sales. That is because there is so much equity that homeowners have right now in their house. It's not an interest-only arm like it was in 2005, 6, and 7.
And one of the interesting things that I learned was the median age for first-time homebuyers has gone from 35 to 20. Is 35 up from 28. Used to be 28 years old. Now it's 35 years old.
And also, while we're talking about age, 58% of that is the age for the average repeat home buyer. That is a lot older than what we think.
Yeah. So, I mean, the change in that is people used to buy and sell homes on an average of 7 to 9 years. And now we're seeing that people are making their some of them have bought their forever home.
That is, yes. One of the other things we'd also like to point out, as I am a Gen X, is that Gen X is most likely to purchase a multi-generational home right now.
And millennials and Gen Z make up the bulk of the home buyers.
This is no surprise, but single women make up 19% of today's home buyers. No surprise.
And I'm going off script because 14% are men.
No, it's not. It is not that high.
It is. It was 19 to 14%.
Really? That does surprise me because you know what, you're right, and I don't believe that number.
Baby bust. Among buyers, only 30% of the home buyers have a child under 18 at home. In 1985, it was 58%.
That was shocking.
It's builders are really going to have to start shifting their thinking about the size of homes and the number of bedrooms that are going to be needed, because we're even seeing that where people that have lived here and they've lived in the big 5,000 square foot house don't want it anymore. They don't want the maintenance. They don't want the upkeep.
They want the cost.
Yeah.
Last but not least, pets. This is an interesting little, and this is funny. So we'll end on this as a funny. Last year, Americans spent $147 billion on pets. 19% of today's buyers factor a pet's needs into buying. That number, I believe, and I could even say it's probably a little bit higher than our clients.
I would say it's a little higher with ours because we have one guy right now that what he's looking for is somewhere without a big yard, but he wants a yard that's big enough for his two babes to go out and be able to do their business during the day while he's at work.
That's right. So we hope you found this really interesting. There's a lot more information. If you'd like to see that slide deck, let us know. We would be happy to shoot that over to you.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.